as usual, I always do a paper, and I'm very selfish. I do the paper for my purpose so I can pick it up 6 months from now and not have to reinvent the wheel. So I'm willing to share it with you if anybody's interested. Send me an email to gwa-turner@hotmail.com and I'll send you a PDF file. Okay, people commonly refer to these as wine bottle stoppers, but they can be used for other kinds of bottles also. In fact, I've heard that the Baptists even use them for their olive oil bottles. I don't know if that's true or not, that's what I've heard. And there's many styles of bottle stoppers, anywhere from a simple cork to stainless steel, with, machined stainless steel with silicone O-rings. The cheapest by far is the cork. You can get those with the 3/8" hole drilled in it, and the dowel in the range of about 43 to 50 cents a piece. And if price is an issue, you can get corks at other places also. Here's a catalog that I got unrequested. It just came in the mail, and it's got different size corks in there. But for that size of cork, you can get 20 corks for $3, so that's about 15 cents a piece. The catalog is American Scientific.
What size hole on it? They sell?
American Scientific, and the web address is sciplus.com.
And the question was, what size hole?
Oh, 3/8. In the ones that you buy, it comes with 3/8. And when you get them from Craft Supply, they come with a serrated, what's got the vertical lines on the dowel to give you a good glue surface. I couldn't find anybody that had those dowels, so I got these that's just got the spiral cuts on. I haven't tried using them yet. But this is a neat little catalog. It's got all kinds of useless stuff in it. But yeah, that was just an example. I got that in the mail and I saw the corks in there. But yeah, you can buy the corks if you don't want to pay, 50 cents a piece for a cork and a dowel. You can certainly get cheaper corks and drill your own hole. When you're making a bottle stopper, there's some considerations that you need to pay attention to, especially if the bottle is going to be chilled after opening. Many of the stoppers that you see that you get don't seal tight enough to where you lay the bottle down, or I wouldn't trust them to be laying down with wine still in it that could pour out. Also, in my refrigerator, I've got a shelf that's got specifically for tall items. But even with that shelf in the lowest spot, with a regular 750 millimeter wine bottle, I've only got about 2 inches of clearance above the bottle. So you have to be cognizant of how tall the bottle stopper is finished. And most of the bottle stoppers that I see are too tall to stand up in my refrigerator. So I pay attention to that when I'm making stoppers for my refrigerator. Somebody else has the same problem, and so be it. And then the metal stoppers come in either plated or stainless steel. The stainless steel will not pit or corrode like a plated stopper will. If you leave a plated stopper in a wine bottle for an extended length of time, it's going to start pitting and corroding. But on the other hand, if you open a bottle of wine and don't let it linger, and you and you wash and dry the stopper after use, the plated stoppers are fine. But as Mike said, he didn't. And it might be the quality of the different. I'm sure there's probably, because there's a vast range in prices. There's probably different. Even though they're plated, there's probably different qualities of plating. I don't know that you can't tell that from when you're buying it. It's just not. It's either stainless steel or it's plated. This is the design for working on the stoppers. This is pretty much the design that I've pretty much used all the time now. I started out with trying a bunch of different designs, and I did some. Where's this going to show up best, over there or over like this? Does that show up there? Yeah, I've got some here that's done with multi-centered. I got and they just didn't really do anything for me. So I can say, oh, I've been there and done that. So I'm not really interested in doing any more of those. And then I've tried some other designs here. I got round knob and just sort of a vertical thing, and one here that's just sort of comes up and flares out. Those style, but the style that I pretty much have fixated myself on is this style here now. And I'm going to show you how I do one of those stoppers. And then we'll move on to this one here. This is a design that I just come up with, and I'll tell you about the reasoning for using this style of stopper here. So those are the knobs. Those are the style of knobs that I've been doing now. Okay, for a cork, the pros and cons of a cork. None of it was that. Can you see it like that if I do it like that? This with a cork stopper, this certainly the cheapest solution. You know, like I say, you can buy a cork for 15 cents there and turn your own dowels, and for an outlay of 15 cents you can make a stopper with. Especially this is a piece of 2x4 wood. But the cork. It's not my favorite. The cork seals okay, but I don't know if I still trust it laying down in a refrigerator. And the cork comes in different qualities too. This is one of when you look in the craft supply and I think Rockler catalogs, they have what's called a floor, F-L-O-R cork, which is a premium cork, it still has pits in it, but it's much smaller, where some of the corks have pretty large pits. There's different qualities of cork also. And I don't particularly care for, I like to show off my knob and not part of the stopper, so I don't really care for that cork showing up there like that. And as far as we can get these, you can get the corks with the 3/8" hole in it. Craft Supply, and these typically come in packages of 10. For Craft Supply, you can get 10 corks and 10 corks for $4.35, and no, this isn't a dowel from Craft Supply. The Craft Supply corks have, I think you can probably see it in the end of this cork here. You see, it's pretty much, but instead of having a circular pattern, it's got vertical or lines going in line with the length of the dowel, and I think it gives you a better gluing surface. So the 10 dowels is 70 cents, and 10 corks at Craft Supply is 35. Woodcraft has the corks only for $4.50. Packard has 10 corks for $5.50 and the dowels for 60 cents. So you can see even there it's over $1's difference depending on where you get them at. Then the next one up is, and this is my favorite stopper, favorite one here. This is a Silicone Stopper, and it comes with a maple dowel. You get a maple dowel in the stopper. And they're for about $1, so it's still a pretty inexpensive solution. And what I really like about this one is it has a very good seal, and when you put it in the bottle, you don't see any stopper. All you see is your knob, and I like that. So that's why that's my favorite, and that has a good enough seal that you could lay the bottle down in the refrigerator.
Find that universally true in all the bottles?
Well, there are bottles that are taller than this, but I think for the most part, I think wine bottles have, and I'll get to that a little bit later, they have the same size opening, the ones I've seen anyway. Now you may get Magnum bottles or something that's got bigger holes than that, but the bottles that I buy, my price range bottles, are that size.
Stick with one brand.
Okay, so like I say, that's my favorite. Now you can get that Packard has the silicone stopper or the silicone sleeve and the cork together in packages of 10 for $8.95. Out here on the shelf is $8.99. Rockler, same thing that I can tell of, is $10.99. So you're talking, $2 difference there, depending on where you get them. And then another option is you can buy the sleeves and the cork separately. Craft Supply, you can get 5 sleeves for $3 1/4. 5 dowels for $1.50, and at Woodcraft you can get a package of 10 sleeves for $8.99. You can get the whole thing, get both of them over here for $8.99.
So if it got damaged, you could replace it?
Yeah, you can replace the sleeves. You can buy the sleeve individually. So the Craft Supply you can buy 5 for $3.25. When you're talking about 10, if you add the 2 prices up, it's going to come to $9.50. So it's going to be more expensive than going out here and buying a package of 10 of the whole thing.
And do you glue the dowel inside the
I don't. There's one time when I pulled it out of the bottle that it came out, where this is right there inside. What you could do is you could just put some silicone, rubber cement or silicone adhesive on it, and then if you ever did take it off, you could just slice it with an X-Acto knife and peel it off, and with rubber cement you could just rub it off and it'd be just like it was to start with. But yeah, okay, this stopper, where it goes in just to the first O-ring, it's got 2 O-rings that are the same size. You just put it into for the first, and you can push it down to where it seals on the second O-ring also. And this is not my favorite stopper in that I just don't like all that chrome up there shining. And the knob, I just don't like the way that stopper looks with the knob, my primary knob design. So in order to be happy with this stopper, I'd have to come up with a different type of a knob that would sort of work with that stopper body, with that stopper, and I just haven't done that yet. On the positive note, this gives you, of all the stoppers up here, this one gives you the most firm positive seal. With those 2 O-rings, you put it down at that second O-ring, no problems of laying the bottle down at all in the refrigerator. And I don't know if Berea Hardwoods designed this knob or what, but for some reason it's known as a Berea stopper. But these come in stainless steel or plated. This is a plated version. You can get the stainless steel ones at Berea Hardwoods for $9. And all these stoppers, I forgot to mention, all these, for a quantity of 10, you typically get a price break. You know, so probably $1 or so cheaper per unit if you buy a quantity of 10. But Berea Hardwoods, you can get the stainless steel version of this for $9. At Woodcraft, you can get it for $14.29. Plated version at Rockler for $3.49, and the plated version at Woodcraft is $6.89. So you could go down to Rockler and buy almost 4 of them for the price of one stainless steel one at Woodcraft. And another thing, the O-rings on here are easily replaceable. In fact, when you get it, the O-rings aren't installed. Rockler has plated for $3.49. Woodcraft has stainless steel. No, Rockler and Woodcraft have plated ones, $3.49 and $6.89. Stainless steel is Berea, Hardwoods, and Woodcraft, $9 and $14.29. Then the next one is, and this is referred to as the classic stopper, and with this one, it's as much material as you have showing up here above the stopper, you're only limited to about 1 inch of material to make your knob with. I got the idea for this knob. I did this knob specifically for this stopper, and I got this idea. There was a picture in Craft Supply catalog that had something like that. But I don't dislike this stopper quite so much with that knob on it. It sort of blends in with the stopper, and it's not quite so objectionable to me. But I've got it down to where it's 2 inches tall, and I can stand it up in the refrigerator. And the seal's not good enough to lay down, so you're going to have to stand it up. See, it's not in there very tight. And this one is available just about everywhere. Stainless steel, again, you can get Berea for $9, Woodcraft for $14.29. Plated versions, Penn State $3.45, Packard Woodworks $3.89. Out here on the shelf out here is $3.99. Craft Supply is $4.25, and Rockler is $6.99. So you can see there's a difference there of $3.45 to $6.89 for a plated. Now, they may know if it's different quality plating on those or what, but you certainly don't see that in their literature, what quality of the plating is. I'm sure they're all made in China. They look the same. They look exactly like that. Okay, and then the one my favorite of the stopper or the metallic stoppers is this one. Oh, it's right here. It fits in the bottle. It goes down pretty far, and you still got a little bit showing. It has a good seal, and it fits fairly tight. But I don't know if I'd really trust it laying down in the bottle or not, laying down in the refrigerator or not. It still is. You can pull it out fairly easy. Since there's not so much material showing here, you're not quite so restricted on the height of your knob. You have a little more flexibility on the height of the knob. Oh, no, and that's known as a mini. In some places known as a mini droplet, and some places known as a mini teardrop. And And those are available. Packard has it for $5.55. Again, these are all stainless steel. Packard has it for $5.55. Craft Supply $5.75. Penn State $5.95. And out here on the shelf is $5.99. Okay, the next one up is his big brother. This is known as the Teardrop or droplet. Instead of this one was a mini, and this is a regular size. And it fits down a little bit more showing on it. Plus, it's got a bigger diameter here, so you're a little bit more restricted on the height of your knob. And down here at the neck of the knob has got to be bigger diameter to fit in with that the top part of the stopper there.
Is there excuse my ignorance, but is there a rationale for the shape of like the teardrop with a point or part that goes down the bottle? Is there, if it seals, it seals?
No, that's loose inside the bottle. It doesn't touch anything inside the bottle. I think it's just, it gives you more weight down there. And that's one thing I was going to say. This one, it has more weight to it, so it just gives you a different feel. You know, this one, it's sort of balanced between that. But this one, you definitely know you got a chunk of metal in your hand. So it's definitely more weight down in the bottom to get different center of gravity.
The ceiling of it, though, I mean,
they're the same.
Seal part there,
pretty much the same.
All that's the major sealing part of it.
Yeah.
You're used in selling these things, or you're used in sealing your wine?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's crying out loud, you know. I mean,
but I like the feel of this one. But I don't like the way as big as it is up here. I got to make the knob bigger, make my knob bigger around the neck than I do on this one.
Well, the whole purpose of cork in the first place is to lay it down on its side so that it swells when it gets wet.
Well, maybe they do. I don't know. You might be able to try that with a cork, but I just don't trust the cork stopper. You know, a regular stopper that comes in a wine bottle is straight sides.
2,000 years.
Yeah, really. I mean,
well, but it's straight sides though. The cork that comes out of the bottle is straight about that long. So you got a seal for that length that will. On this cork here, you can see we're contacting right there at that point. You're not contacting down here at all.
You never get it in and out.
How much metal on the droplet is showing on the bottle?
On the droplet or mini droplet?
Both. The mini droplet, there's nothing showing.
Well, there's a little bit. This one, see up here?
Do you have a picture comparison discussion of these in your handout?
Yes.
Great.
Just what I'm showing here.
Is that like an eighth of an inch?
Well, that's about 3/16, over 3/8. No, over a quarter inch, but not quite 3/8. That's the regular size, and this is the mini. And that's about maybe a quarter of an inch on the mini.
And they seal equally well?
Yeah, they're saying the rubber on this one's a little bit longer, but still it's not going to seal on it. These bits down here aren't going to be touching. The only thing that's really touching the bottle is probably this one right here and maybe these two over here is what's actually touch sealing on the bottle.
I guess it would make a difference if you had it in a champagne bottle and you shook it up. I guess it wouldn't fly as far as it might. But if you're really,
It might be more lethal though when it gets you.
yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah.
And then the last one is this is the, and you see there it's got, as Ron was saying earlier, it's got 3 O-rings on it. But any bottle I've tried putting it in, it touches on the center ring. I've never found a bottle yet that touched on the top big ring or the small ring.
You know, my contention is if you had a different mouth on the bottle, it's still only going to touch on one.
Well, yeah, it's only going to touch on one O-ring. But so I don't know what bottle size bottle these other ones touch. Maybe an olive oil bottle. Maybe you try check with one of the Baptists to see if they use it on their olive. But, yeah, this is the roof Nile. This is known as the Nile SS Nile stopper. And you see on this one, it's got about the same amount of exposure as what the mini droplet does. It's about a quarter of an inch exposure. And it's of all the stoppers, it's by far the best quality workmanship. The body's machined, the threads are cut, as opposed to on some of these, it looks like the threads have been stamped or molded. They're not very crisp and clear, no, except for this one here. This one's got a separate piece, so this is a actually threaded stud that goes in there. So the threads on that one are nice and clean. But if you look at the threads on these two here, they've got pits on them, and they're not near the quality of the threads on this one. The thing I don't like about the stopper is it only touches on that one ring, and that one ring is about maybe 1/8 of an inch down inside the bottle. So I wouldn't even think about laying this down in the refrigerator. It just doesn't, I wouldn't trust it laying down.
But you haven't done any user acceptance testing.
I've not tested the bottles laying down in my refrigerator at home. Now, you want me to try them in your refrigerator?
Trying to shop like consultant that I was meeting with.
I don't.
For 2 years.
I don't want to waste my $8 bottle of wine.
Put water, empty a bottle out and put water.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, and then these are some. The mini droplet. This is the mini droplet or teardrop, and these stoppers are the same family in Craft Supply. We got one that's labeled as a cone, and this one's labeled as a bullet. It's just a different. The only difference is the shape of the bottom part down here. This one here also comes in those shapes also.